Alright, I'll do that. It's like a turquoise green color.
It should be like a shit green.
I mean,
Yeah, well, like a neon but dark green. You got it popped up?
yeah.
Alright, hold on, I'm coming.
Well, we already have fucking problems here. No, I think we're alright. It looks so you can see it. That's the color.
Mm. It's mermaid green, but
It's a shade of green, blue, and gray. Contains more green than any other color, like teal or aqua. That's what I said. Shade sits between green and blue in a color wheel where it can be thought of as a halfway point between the two. Yeah, I agree with that. But enough about that, because it's not what the fuck I'm on here for. Why I came here is because these motherfuckers, these social justicey white people, have now come to my fucking city. Now, I don't have a problem. Matter of fact, let me just get this out of the way. Rest in peace to George Floyd, I think his name is. Nobody, as somebody that is shockingly white and has been beat up by the fucking police before, nobody should have to have their last moments be by the hands of a fucking racist cop with his fucking knee on your neck.
Are you bringing up the video of it?
No, I can't watch that.
Because there was a person that on YouTube was like, where's his radio? And where
Well, there were three other cops just standing there.
Yeah, but
they didn't do shit.
Them.
Well, I'm gonna bring up cops too, because there's good stories and bad stories that are gonna come out of this. But here's the point though. I don't understand what these protesters think they're going to accomplish. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with doing it to get a message across, right? When Kaepernick was kneeling during the national anthem, I know some people that weren't with that. However, I believe in fucking what America stands for, even when people in America don't, and that is having the fucking right to express your opinion even when other people think that you're fucking wrong. Now, obviously, the same thing that happened with Colin Kaepernick is happening with this George Floyd person. What's going on is now the story has gotten away from police officers have killed a human being, and the story is now a bunch of dickheads are rioting in a fucking city, destroying shit, and that's what the story is. It's once again been taken off of the center of attention and should be fucking on. Just like when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling in the NFL, the story became about what rules and regulations the NFL should have in place versus it being about black motherfuckers getting shot in the fucking street by cops. That's what it should have been about, but it wasn't. So now these people have come to my city. And apparently our governor is. I'm actually going to look this up. Ew, people are putting protests near me. I want to see what the peaceful protest scheduled today, despite rumors on social media. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I saw yesterday on on Facebook, I saw there was a post of some cunts saying that Antifa was going to come here to go over by a shopping plaza that's not far away from where we live. And they said they were going to start destroying shit. And of course, you have the radicals on social media that are already sharing the post, going, oh, when Antifa shows up, let them try to fuck up our city. We'll fucking hurt them. First of all, no, you won't. And secondly, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you really think punching one of these tarts in their fucking head is gonna make a difference? I mean, honestly, look, there's a difference between, again, standing up for a guy and was fucking right in the world and just being an asshole, stealing fucking Legos and sneakers out of PacSun. You know what, dude? If you have to steal a pair of Vans during a fucking riot, well, first of all, you should be ashamed of yourself that you're stealing Vans. Of all things in the world you can steal. When the riot started, you went to your fucking skateboarding nerd buddies and went, bro, we need to go to PacSun, man, and live some Vans. Get some DCs, bitch. Get with the fucking program. Team DC all fucking day, dude. Fuck out of here. Let your no support having sneaker ass motherfucker. But now, apparently, our governor in New Jersey is urging people to fucking stay home. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Here we go. Please release a statement on the protest. This should be good. And I would share it with you, but if I do that, then everybody knows where I live, and not that I really care. But, some people are just fucking wild, so I can't be too careful. More disappointed by these kids snitching on themselves by posting pictures of them burning cop cars. Well, that's because they're fucking stupid. They deserve to go to fucking jail, dude. You're gonna burn a cop, like, dude. You know what? We're gonna get into cops for a second, but I want to read this first. Social media was abuzz Monday afternoon after it was announced protests would be scheduled in two different cities after the death of George Floyd in Minnesota. According to a number of Facebook pages, organized protests have been scheduled for June 2nd and on June 6th. Oh, god damn it, they're coming back again. Fucking Jesus. All right. So police issued a statement on their Facebook page which promoted several businesses to board up their properties in downtown areas as a precaution. The statement read, "We have received information about possible protests and or gatherings in the city on Tuesday, June 2nd. We are preparing for a potential gathering, can handle any situation that may arise. It is our priority to maintain the safety of our entire community while allowing a peaceful demonstration," the police department wrote. "Over the years, we have built an amazing relationship with our community, and we stand with you all together." Well, I don't know about all that. I think you built let's be real. You built a rapport with parts of your community, mainly the rich white community. Some of you have come out to the ghettos, and you don't always act superior towards people that are not necessarily well off, but that's not most of you. Which, I mean, I guess it shouldn't be, but whatever. Let's see, the other guy sent a press release. It said, "We have read information." I just read that, same as the other one. Okay. "As we are prepping with the help of our community liaisons so that we can handle any situation that may arise, it is a priority to maintain the safety of the community that we serve while allowing respectful and peaceful protest demonstration. We ask you to keep all of those affected in the event in Minnesota around the country in your thoughts and prayers." All right, good. That doesn't really help me much. Okay, whatever. It doesn't say that the governor is saying that you should stay home, but however, that's what people are telling us. Like, don't go out anywhere. Now, I don't know if they're gonna start destroying shit, but I mean, I wouldn't say that's not the best way to get your fucking message across, dude. Because all you do then is you allow these racists to believe. Think it was just a reason to explode from being stuck home for 2 months. Well, that is a big part of it. That definitely is a big part of it. And the fact that, people just want to be. Sam Roberts says this shit all the time, where he says that he likes to be part of a happening, right? And that's what this is. For some people, now look, some people are going to get upset that I just said that. But if you're going to lie to yourself, if you're going to lie to yourself and say that for some people this is not just a happening, that's your prerogative. But the reality is that's what it is for some people. Some of us can look at this situation and we can say, well, this definitely is a breeding ground for where we can start the conversation, right? And other people are going to look at this and they're going to say, well, people are out, they're mad, they're protesting. Let's go destroy some shit because I've been stuck inside for 2, 3 months, whatever it is. And, everybody, who's kidding who? Anybody that's played Street Fighter at one point in their life has wanted to destroy something by punching it, kicking it, and doing all that crazy shit, right? And that's what a lot of this is. For some people, it's just a happening. They just want to be part of something. So they can say, "Oh, I was out in the streets and protesting, doing my part as an American citizen, trying to support the black community." Shut the fuck up. No, you weren't. No, you fucking weren't. Who are you lying to? Stop it. You don't give a fuck about the black community, dude. You don't. And don't lie to me and tell me that you do when you don't. If you really did give a half of a fuck about the black community, you would not be out destroying your fucking neighborhoods in the name of the black community, dude. That's not something that you do. Because if you don't remember, this has happened before. This has happened before, many times before. And in LA with the riots and all that shit. Do you know what comes from that? Nobody learns anything on the other side of a fucking riot. Now I understand, look, there's a time and a place, right? I know if shit really hit the fan, if we needed to, this is what fucking kills me, bro. When the government decides to tap all of our fucking phones and do all this shit, nobody does anything. They're like, oh fuck it, they're gonna do what they want. If we all chose to, we could be like, oh, you're gonna change shit, but they don't want to do it because it's not sexy, right? But when a black dude gets choked out in the middle of the fucking street and he gets murdered by a cop, now you want to do something. Now you want to do something. What do you do rather than anything else? What is a good idea how to handle the situation? Well, for one, how about we go into these fucking police stations and we take a look at how these people are being trained? Why don't we do that? Why does nobody do that? We need to go and take a look at how these people are being trained. What is the tone in their locker rooms? What is the tone in the hallways? When you walk around in there, what does it feel like? Is it heavy? I mean, obviously, these men and women are risking their fucking lives to a point, right? But that's an important thing for us to do. I can tell you from personal experience, I've seen every kind of cop. I've seen every kind of cop there is. I'm actually going to, you know what? Let me look up something real fast. I want to bring up a fucking story while we're sitting here. I think he was. I don't remember. Motherfucker. Hold on. I gotta look up the cops in the old neighborhood. Because I need to figure out. I don't want to contact them, that's for fucking sure. You don't need to do any of that. Okay, we'll go to their Facebook page because it should have the guy's name on it. I'm looking for a specific person. And I don't want to misquote the information. Come on now. Really? Nothing yet? Alright, let's go into photos. They gotta have it up somewhere. Memorial Day. You would think that they would have posted something about this dude recently. Maybe they are like, fuck it, we did what we needed to do and that's it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that to be a fact. But still, I mean, there's nothing here. It's kind of wild to me. Come on, man. Where the fuck is it? Alright, you know what? In a second, I'm just gonna drop it and I'm just gonna go into the fucking story because at this point, now it's just wasting time. When the more important part of this thing is the story and not necessarily the detail, like this dude's badge number. Not really important because we know his name. You know, that should be enough. Because still, I mean, I'm going in, I think 2 years and nothing. Then again, I don't know how long it's been since the dude is. Alright, forget it. Forget it. Fuck out of here. Okay, so look, I said I was gonna bring up cops. I've had a lot of experiences with a lot of different police officers. Most of which, 90% of which, have not been good. However, I have to, I don't want to say give credit where it's due, but that's pretty much. Let me tell you a fucking story. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but here we go. Because I want to prove the point that I'm not just going to demonize this group of people, being police or even protesters, and there's good and bad of every side. So I feel like we should throw a little bit of good out there first before I go shitting on these guys. And I probably brought this up in the past on a podcast. I covered police brutality. I did a whole fucking thing on it when live streaming was the main deal on this channel before we dived into the podcast. But this is years ago, early 2000s, right? Matter of fact, let me go grab a drink because this is going to be heavy because I got to go into the whole story here. I don't know what the year was. I don't remember. I just remember the situations as they happened. So here's what happened. Bouncing around from place to place, trying to figure out how the fuck we were going to move on to the next point of our lives here. Right, this is before. I think this is before we got into the first apartment that we had. Pretty sure, because we were trying to figure out where the fuck were we gonna live, right? Anyway, point is, there's a crackhead that lived underneath my mama's apartment where we were staying, and it's not a secret. Everybody knew it. Everybody around town knew this bitch was, and rumor has it she's still smoking crack today, somewhere. Who knows where? If there's any justice in the world, that bitch is probably dead, but I mean, whatever. You know what? I really shouldn't say that given the nature of the fucking story I'm about to tell, but I wouldn't wish it on her. I'm just saying, because she's a terrible human being. I wish I could scratch that previous statement from the record. But alright, so here it is. This lady liked to get drunk, smoke crack, and beat her child. That was her favorite pastime. She loved it more than anything in the world. That was her favorite thing to do. Yes? So one day she's cracking up downstairs and she starts beating her fucking kid, slapping her around. And I'm not in the fucking mood to listen to this shit because we're trying to figure out our fucking lives. I'm sitting on the floor in a living room smoking a Newport, thinking to myself, how the fuck did I get here? Right? The choices that I've made in life have not been the best. That must be how I've ended up in this position. So then this fucking asshole starts banging on her ceiling, our floor. Right? And like I said, I'm not in the mood for this shit. So I tell this motherfucker, knock it the fuck off. Right? I scream it through the floor. 2 seconds later, I hear all the noise completely stop. And she runs up the stairs and then she starts banging on the front door. Starts banging on the front door. Come out here, faggot. I'll fuck you up, motherfucker. Open this fucking door. I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you. Blah, 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 blah. Crack, crack, crack. Whatever the fuck she was saying. Right? So I said to this bitch, I'm like, dude, first of all, I'm not opening the fucking door. That's for one. Because that's not good news. She's trying to open it. She's moving the knob. She's trying to kick the fucking thing open. I'm like, bro, listen to me. If you go through this door, I got every right in the world to defend myself. I just want to let you know that, right? All of a sudden, everything goes dead quiet. Dead quiet. Nothing. About 5 minutes goes by, and there's a knock on the door again. This one's different. It's very distinct. If you've ever had a cop knock on your door, you know exactly what that sounds like. There is no mistaking it. I don't know if they train that in school or what, but it seems like they all do the same thing. Look out the peephole, and sure as shit, there's 2 cops standing outside the door. So I open it. Cops are like, hey, what's going on? Like, but not a whole lot. I mean, other than the fucking crackhead downstairs losing her fucking mind, that's about all that is happening. Well, you see, that's what we're here to talk to you about because she's the one that called us. Because she said, and I quote, I'm not making this up. She said, you were screaming at her through the floor of the apartment. Then you open your apartment door and I was out in the hallway with a knife screaming that you were going to kill her and her daughter, that you were going to cut her throat and throw her downstairs. Something along those lines was the last part, which is pretty fucking funny considering this awful bitch was just trying to kick my door in, but whatever, right? Hashtag believe all women, I guess. That's what we're doing now. So I'm like, well, that's absolutely not true at all. That's not what happened. Not even in the slightest bit. That's not what happened. I go, look, she's right. Jen's sitting right here. She could vouch for me. And there's two cops that show up. There's a point to this fucking story. There's two cops that show up. One of them I've had problems with the entire time I've lived in this fucking town. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. One of the worst people I've ever met in my fucking life. This is the type of dude that his dick gets hard when he thinks about being a cop, beating motherfuckers up. Like, this is a training day type of motherfucker, dude. The other guy that's with him, I don't know much about him. I hear stories, everybody, all the women in town talk about how fucking hot he is, and they all want to fuck him because he's a cop and he's got sleeves, tattoos, the whole fucking deal. So Sleeves leaves me and this cop to ourselves. He's like, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna go interview her, try to figure out what's going on. So they say to me, this cop says to me, like, well, is there anybody else here? Because we can't take her word for it because she would just lie for you. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. So you can't take her word because she'll lie for me, but you can take the word of this crackhead lady's kid, and she wouldn't lie for her, right? The same woman that beats her wouldn't lie for her, though, right? So that's what we're getting at the time. I didn't realize how fucked up this whole situation was because of the adrenaline of everything that was happening. So this motherfucker says, is there anybody in this house that can corroborate your fucking story? My mom is sleeping in the other fucking room. She comes out, sees the cops. What's going on? They all heard it. There's no way they couldn't have heard it. But this is how fucking stupid this lady is. She's like, oh, I was asleep. I didn't hear what happened. What's going on? The cop is explaining to her what is happening. Basically, this lady called the fucking cops saying that he threatened her life, blah, blah, blah. Do you know anything about that? She says no. And the cop is like, well, I mean, what is this? What is this dude's fucking temperament usually like? And this fucking idiot is like, well, I mean, he does get mad pretty quickly. I mean, it's always been a problem for him, even since he was a kid. I was like, dude, are you fucking serious? Are you serious right now? You're not helping. And now the cop is like, oh, shut up. This is great. Like, just giving me exactly what I need. This is exactly what I need. So he looks at me now and he goes, look, dude, you got two choices. Still no evidence, by the way. No evidence, by the way. You got two choices. Oh, and I forgot. They showed up with a green piece of paper that they tried to say was a fucking warrant, which I believe, can't prove it, but I believe that it was actually an arrest record piece of paper from somebody else that they used, just said it was a warrant. But I mean, I can't prove that, so I don't know. But it definitely did not look like what I know now a warrant looks like. And they never showed it to me either. But I mean, when you're dumb and you don't know the law because you've never been to jail before, you figure these things out rather quickly. So I forgot about that. Which doesn't even make sense. How could you get a warrant that quickly? Like, I'm not a wanted person. I don't understand. Would they use probable? I don't know. I don't want to get wrapped up in the details of that part of the story because that's not why I'm telling it, right? So this guy says to me, and I'm leaving out the parts where, of course, he's patting me down. He's fucking grabbing my ass. He's trying to feel my fucking balls. This fucking dirtbag. It's not even because the dude he's doing it because he's trying to fucking emasculate me or whatever the word is. So I'm like, bro, can I help you fucking find something back there, dude? I mean, honestly, whatever you're looking for is not going to be in my fucking ball sack. I mean, really. Fucking loser. But anyway, this dude goes, you got two choices. You can either go to the pest unit, which is it's a wing connected to a hospital where the crazies go for psychological evaluations and shit like that. I've seen that place. I've been in there. Jen has been locked up in there. It is not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be. The lady that runs that place will let you in or not let you in, will keep you there or leave you locked in your fucking room so you have to piss on the floor depending on what type of mood she's in. So that's not the place to be at, right? At least in my dumb head, just what I'm thinking. Or you can go to the county jail. What do you want to do? And I'm like, well, if I go to the mental hospital, I might never get out. That's honestly what I was. This is my logic of thinking in this moment where I had to make a snap decision. Do I want to go to the mental hospital or do I want to go to prison? What? 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 No, not anymore. It was no, I'm not talking to you.
I said now the reason why you're not talking about me is because you're talking to me.
Ugh. Fuck, man.
What are you talking about with the hospital?
Talking about the terroristic threats thing. Yeah. Which is why I brought the hospital up in the first place. So I figured I would probably be safer going to the county, right? I mean, who knows? At least I know eventually I'll get out of there. That's the logic of thinking behind what I'm doing here. So they go, all right, we're gonna we'll handcuff you. Like they originally said, like, dude, you're not. This is how much of a cunt this guy is. He's like, look, we have the other guy comes back from downstairs, right? After it's been decided I'm going to fucking jail. I mean, I find out later he was giving me a choice that I didn't have. He was saying, you want to go to the hospital or do you want to go to jail because you're going one way or another? It's not an option. It's going to happen. What I didn't know was that I didn't really have options. They were planning on taking me to the jail regardless. They made their mind up in the car before they came up. I mean, I find this out later, which I'm getting to. But this guy's like, don't worry. The other guy comes back from downstairs to talking to this fucking lady, and he's like, dude, I mean, honestly, I don't know. It's her word against his. Like, I don't really know what to believe in all this shit. And they're like, all right, we'll call it in. We'll talk to the people at the station. Don't worry, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to fucking jail. I don't have to handcuff you. I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's cool. And then, of course, stupid me. They're like, dude, can you just step outside the door for a second? I'm like, okay. And then that's when they slap the cuffs on and go, all right, you're going to fucking county. It's like, dude, 2 seconds ago, you just said that I wasn't going anywhere. He's like, well, I lied then, I guess, didn't I? Like, what a fucking asshole. So this dude, they bring me to the fucking police station, right? Now, I've never been formally arrested before this point where the whole thing happens and you go to the police station. I mean, I've been detained in a police station before when I was younger, but not to the extent that, like, you're going to prison or jail now. You're going to stay handcuffed in here until somebody comes to fucking get you, right? And I don't know if that's legal or not, but that's a different story to figure out for another day. So the asshole guy leaves and the other guy is there left with me and he's doing my fucking fingerprints. And I say to this guy, like, bro, what is that guy's problem? Why is he always such a dick, dude? And I don't even mean to me, I mean to everybody. Nobody likes that guy. You do know that, right? Like, he's the biggest fucking asshole in this city. And the cop is like, dude, watch your fucking mouth, bro. Like, he's in the other room. He can probably hear you. And I don't want him walking in here and thinking that me and you are like best friends. You know what I mean? I have a fucking job to do here. I can't look like this is the point why I'm bringing up this story. This guy basically says I can't look bad in front of my fucking partner. That's what he says, right? So they fingerprint me. I go off to fucking county, right? And they're charging me with terroristic threats. If you're unaware, basically what that means is trying to say that I threatened somebody's life. Now, here's the luck that I have, which is that the day before I got arrested, there's a dude that got arrested for the same thing, threatening his wife or whoever the fuck it was, right? They let him out on bail, and then that same night he gets out of jail, he goes and kills the people that he said he was going to kill. So now there's no bail. You don't get a bailout. You have to just stay in here indefinitely until your court date, your arraignment, whatever it is. You're not going anywhere. No bail. I was like, oh fuck, this is fucking no good. Like, this is really bad. So, long story short, I'll skip over the fucking horrors of the county jail and all that bullshit. Basically, what happened was when they put me in, you can make phone calls collect in the holding cell. Because when they bring you into the county, they register you. They do your fingerprints, they take your mug shots, the whole fucking thing, and then they throw you into a holding cell, which at any time could have like 30 people in it, right? And this fucking thing is packed with people in it. And then from there, while you're in there, the objective is to make the phone calls you have to make, call whoever you got to call, collect, make your bail arrangements, do what you have to do. And there's signs everywhere of bail bondsmen, right? So I wind up calling one dude, explain the situation of what happened. And this guy is like, all right, I think I know what's going on here. Now, apparently, these guys can choose whether or not to take your case to get you bail. I guess whether or not they want to be associated with you, like they're not obligated. They can choose to turn you down if they want to. So the guy is like, look, you got to give me some time, obviously, because of the charges you have. There is no bail, so there's nothing that I can do for you at the moment. But let me work on some things. Let me figure out what I can do from my end, right? Just fucking do what you have to do. Basically, hold yourself together. Hopefully, it won't be that long. So time goes by, and now you don't even leave the jail for the arraignment. They get a judge to come on via like Skype. And she goes around the room, and there's like 60 of us in there, men, women, whoever, doesn't matter. You know, and she'll go case by case, reading over what everybody did, and then give them what they think that their sentence is going to be. I'll give you an example. There was a dude that was in there who was locked up for firearms possession, and he was gonna do, I think, 6 years, whatever it was. Apparently, didn't bother him at all. I mean, most of these people have been in and out of jail for a long time, so they don't give a shit. A lot of them gangbangers, whatever. And I'm not saying that because I'm generalizing. That's a fact. It's a fact, dude. That's just what it is. But basically, my shit comes around, and they look at me and they go terroristic threats that carries a mandatory 5-year sentence with a maximum of 7 years in a federal fucking penitentiary, dude. 5 to 7 years for hearsay, for somebody saying that you said you were going to kill them. 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 fucking years, dude. Now, I don't need to tell you, like, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. They've already sent a public defender my way who essentially walked into the room and went, buddy, you are fucked. I don't want to. He literally came to the table and he said, all right, listen, here's the deal. I don't want to hear your story. I don't want to hear about how you're innocent. Everybody always says that they are. Basically, I just need you to sign this piece of paper that's acknowledging that the state is giving you an attorney if you can't afford one by yourself. So I'm going to just be standing in the courtroom while you get sentenced. That's pretty much what the fuck happened. That's pretty much what happened. And you can take whatever you want away from this fucking story. I'm not telling you fucking lies, dude. I got better things to do with my time than make shit up that didn't fucking happen. This is all 100% legitimate. So anyway, what winds up happening is they got cameras inside of each jail cell, right? And I guess the judge watches people all day to see like how do they react, what their demeanor is while they're sitting in this cage all day for 23 hours and 45 minutes a day, and you didn't even get 15 minutes outside of the fucking cell like you were supposed to. They let us out for maybe 5 minutes to walk around in the hallway because I was in a medical unit, and then send you right back. If you're lucky, you had enough time to make a fucking phone call. Which I'm trying to. Everybody thinks that I'm in right now because it was a domestic. Everybody is automatically assuming it was a domestic because that's what most of these things are related to, right? But I said I was going to make a long story fucking short. Let me just skip to the end here. The judge says, look, I looked over your record. Luckily, this happened before I was arrested for weed, which was very shortly after that. I think it was in like a 2-week period. I was arrested, bailed out. Well, not bailed out. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm all over the fucking place. The judge basically says, I looked at your record. There's nothing here. I've been watching the way that you have been over the last week or so, whatever it was. And she's like, so I don't think that you seem like this crime doesn't seem to match up to what I'm looking at and what the story is. Something is not right here. So here's what I'm going to do. And don't make me regret it, because if you do, I will personally make sure that you get sentenced to the fucking maximum amount of time that you can do. Like, this lady is not fucking around. But she's like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kick this down from terroristic threats to disorderly conduct, and I'm going to send this to the local municipality so that they can handle it in their own court the way that they see fit. So instead of 5 to 7 years, you'll be looking at potentially 30 days in county jail on top of 3 years probation, mental health counseling, the whole fucking thing you'd have to do, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. 30 days better than 5 to 7 fucking years. I mean, whatever. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Nothing I could do. So, okay, cool. Now that the charge has been reduced, now I can be bailed out because it's not terroristic threats anymore. Now it's disorderly conduct. So I call the bail guy back. We work it out. I think the bail was like $250,000, which 10% of that was $250 that you have to post, which, by the way, I got posted. It's a whole thing. It doesn't matter how it happened. The point is that it happened. So I get bailed out. I go and meet up with the bail bondsman, and then I come to find out, bro. This is how small the world is, dude. It turns out that the fucking bail bondsman that just got me out of jail knows the lady that just put me in. He knows this woman's name. He knows the entire story because he's basically like, all right, I want you from start to finish, tell me exactly what happened. So I tell him the banging on the floor. She tries to break in, calls the cops, says I threatened to kill her, all that shit. And he's like, this is crazy. I can't believe after all this time she's still doing this. I'm like, wait. What? He's like, dude, I used to live in Seaside Heights, and this crazy bitch. Well, he didn't say that. He said this lady, because he used her name. I'm not gonna use her name. This lady used to be my neighbor, and she used to call the cops on me every day when her and her boyfriend would be getting drunk together and fist fighting and all that shit. You know, when I would ask them to tone it down, they would call the cops on me. But luckily, because my bail bondsman, cops know who I am and they know who she is from her lengthy arrest record, whatever. Basically, he goes, dude, you're gonna be fine. Like, he's actually laughing now at this point. He's like, this is so crazy. I can't believe this. I can't wait to tell my friends about this, essentially. Right? Like, he goes, dude, listen, you're gonna be fine. You don't need my help. He goes, but, and I mean this, I really do. He goes, if for some reason the judge tries to give you a hard time, have somebody call me and I will personally testify on your behalf, dude. That's real shit. This is real shit. And I know we haven't gotten to the cop yet, but we're getting there, I promise you. That's real deal Holyfield shit. I'm not Stephen King, bro. I couldn't make shit like this up. And why would you want to? Why would you want to? So, here we go. Now, I'm scared shitless, dude. I'm like, I could still, in my head, in my mind, I'm thinking, there's no way that I'm walking away from this not dying in prison. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Bro, you have no idea. You have no idea, bro. It gets. That's not even the luckiest part, bro. It's the most sick thing about it. I go to court, and I think it's a wrap for my fucking life, right? So first the arraignment, then the court date. So for the arraignment, this lady shows up, her and her daughter, right? They're in the courtroom, and dude, I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. The cops that have arrested me are there. Prosecutors there, the whole thing. Courtroom is full of people. This fucking bitch is flipping me off on the other side of the courtroom. She's literally standing there with her fucking middle finger staring at me, mouthing "fuck you" in the courtroom. And the one of the cops that arrested me is standing next to her watching this whole thing and doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything. I'm like, bro, this shit is like out of a bad comedy movie. Like, this would be some shit that you would make up if you were trying to write a sketch about terrible people doing wild things in court arraignments. This would be at the top of the list. This lady who's supposedly afraid for her life of me is flipping me off in the middle of a courtroom, and nobody sees it. Nobody sees it but me. Fucking baby face over here. Nobody sees it but me, right? So, whatever. Like, this, it is, she's out of her fucking head. The judge is like, all right, whatever, we'll reschedule court for a blah, blah, blah day, right? So she leaves, and the cops are like, hey, man, make sure you don't leave town before then, we'll keep our eyes on you. Oh, like you haven't been the entire time that I've lived here, right? Like at any point, I can look out my window and see a fucking detective car sitting in front of my apartment, but you're keeping your eye on me. Like, I don't know that. Like, I don't know that. I'm not a fucking asshole, man. Jesus Christ, get a fucking life, will you please? Whatever. So, court rolls around, and so far, this lady is a no-show. She's a no-show, dude. You know, scared for my life, this kid's going to kill me, is a no-show in court. I'm like, what the fuck? So my case gets called up, right? I go up there and I wore a suit. I wear a suit, god damn it, because I'm a classy individual. And you don't look, I don't care how big of a dick. Let me give any personal, you want personal advice from me to you. I don't care if you jack the Snickers bar from a fucking Krausers, or if you're lifting vans out of a packed sun in Minnesota. If you get caught, wear a fucking suit to court. It might not make a difference in your sentencing, but believe me when I tell you, the judge is gonna notice if you walk in there with anything other than a fucking suit on, as they see it as disrespectful. If you're going to court, rent a fucking suit, do what you have to do, but dress appropriately, man. Don't fuck around, because that will get you longer time. You know, all this stands between you and however long your sentence going to be is whatever mood the judge is in, and you don't want to be negatively affecting that. So I'm up there, and prosecutor says to the judge, we can't continue, Your Honor, because the plaintiff in this situation is not here. So the judge says, all right, you go sit the fuck down, dirtbag. We'll call you back up later towards the end of the court case. Now I'm sweating bullets in this joint, dude. I'm like, this is how it's gonna end. She's gonna show up at the last minute and they're gonna cart me off to jail and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die being fucking raped in the face, whatever. Who knows what's gonna happen to me? It's gonna be fucking over. I'm gonna just kill myself. That's what I should do, right? I'm all fucked up, panicking, don't know what I'm gonna do. End of the fucking day rolls around. Still no lady. Get called back up again. Prosecutor's like, dude, she's not here. And now the judge, for some reason, even the fucking judge, this guy does not like me. He does not like me at all. He's like, all right, well, because she's not here, then it looks like we're just going to have to push sentencing off to another day. You know, don't think you're going to get away with this just because this lady didn't fucking show up. You're going to get what's coming to you. Don't worry about it. Like, what is he supposed to be giving personal commentary right now? I don't know what's happening, right? So it's to the point where the prosecutor is asking the judge, look, can we just drop this case, please? The state doesn't really see any point in pursuing this. It's already been kicked down from terroristic threats by Superior Court to disorderly conduct. I mean, really, this matter is just a waste of the court's time. And the judge looked at the prosecutor and was like, what the fuck did you just say? I'm sorry, what? You don't get to decide what's a waste of the court's time and what isn't. I decide that, and I think it's worth the court's time. So if you don't mind, and then, you know, dude, in pure superhero fucking fashion, man, the other guy that went downstairs to talk to this lady stands up in the middle of the fucking courtroom and he goes, Your Honor, if I may. And he's like, all right, go ahead. He says, you know, I was the arresting officer that night. I was there at the scene, and I personally hand delivered the summons for blah 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 to be here today. She knows she's supposed to be here, and she's still not here, sir. With all due respect, I think that if she was really concerned, she would be here. And the prosecutor's like, see, like even the cop wants to get rid of this. And even still, the judge is like, I don't know, man. I think maybe we should reschedule it for 2 weeks from now. And now the prosecutor and the cop are both basically like, dude, it's not worth it. Now, the system has never worked for me ever in life. It's always been against me, dude. But for whatever fucking reason, people can say it's because you're white, whatever. I got lucky. This dude didn't have to fucking stand up and put his ass on the line for me. You don't even know me, right? So they get the judge to go, all right, you know what? Forget it. The case will be dismissed. Yeah, what time is it there? It seems super early for you. It is 12:36. And it is usually I'm usually in here early in the day anyway, but I usually don't record anything until I've been up for 3 or 4 hours. Otherwise, it sounds like I'm just a mess. My voice is not even all together. I look even more high than usual. It's a goddamn train wreck. But dude, they both just gotta drop it, right? So the judge is like, all right, here's the deal, man. Here's what you're gonna do. You are going to go, I will agree to dismiss this case if and only if you have to go to a place called Ocean Mental Health, which is a facility where, psychologists get a mental evaluation, basically. You need to be put on medication and treated by these doctors. If I find out that you're not going to therapy and you're not under the medication treatments, whatever, I will reinstate this fucking case and you will go to prison. Like, all right, man. Jesus, I get it. Fucking relax. Get the fuck out of my courtroom. Okay. So I should mention, shortly after this, the cop, before leaving the courtroom, he fucking walked, when they had me, before he walked up there, he stopped over to me and he leaned over and he said to me quietly, like, he's like, don't make me regret this. I know where you live. That's basically what he said to me, dude. Like, I'm putting my ass on the line here for you. Don't fuck me over. Don't make me regret this. And of course, a couple of weeks later, I would get arrested for fucking selling weed. But then after that, everything was fine. So I think I did okay. But guy says you're dismissed. Get the fuck out of my courtroom. Now, to me, that sounds like you're dismissed. Get the fuck out of my courtroom, right? That's what it sounds like to me. So we leave, and 20 minutes later, I got a phone call from my aunt, and she says, dude, the judge is saying that if you don't go back to that courthouse in the next 5 minutes, he's putting a bench warrant out for your arrest. Like, what the fuck? He told me to leave. So we do 90 from where we fucking were back to the Ocean Gate courthouse, dude. Fucking breaking all kinds of laws to get there on time.
We didn't even get our fucking food. We had to go back there an hour later to pick up our food.
It's fucking crazy. So I run back in there and the judge is like, dude, Who told you that you can leave? And me being the fucking moron that I am, I was like, sir, you said I was dismissed. He said, no, the fuck I didn't. I tell you when you can fucking go and when to stay. And I didn't tell you to fucking leave. All right, well, I'm not gonna argue with you, right? Like that would, for me to argue with this guy about what he said or didn't say would be the dumbest fucking thing for me to do. I know when I'm beat. He just did that to basically go, now you're dismissed. And don't let me fucking catch you back in here again. So I had to go and get mentally evaluated and all that shit. And that was a whole deal in and of itself because they didn't want to do it because it was mandated by the court. But the point of why I bring up this long fucking story is simply this. Not every cop is a bad guy. Now I know other people who know the cop that I'm talking about, and they say that he was a douchebag. Now, unfortunately, rest in peace to him. If it wasn't for that guy, I would be in fucking prison right now. And that's not a joke. Seriously. I probably would still be in there right now. No, I think I would have just got out like a year ago. If I would have got out at all. But this dude's dead. This dude is dead. He got into a car accident on the Garden State Parkway. Wound up having his car being flipped. He was trapped inside the car. And because the people that hit him, supposedly, the story goes, the people that hit his car on the parkway were high on drugs and they had drugs on them. So when they got out to see who it was that they hit and they saw it was a fucking cop, they ran off. And the guy was apparently like, just cut me out of my fucking seatbelt, help me get out of here. I will go to court and I will fight on your fucking behalf. Just please help me get out of here. This is one of the saddest fucking stories in the world, dude. This guy was going through a rough spot in his marriage, right? Him and his fucking wife were apparently about to call it quits. I don't know the story. I don't care. That doesn't concern me. But for the point of the story, I'm throwing that detail in there because it kind of is important. He was on his way from his shift in the town to go to Thanksgiving at his wife's house with his children. And he gets into the car accident on the fucking way there. The car catches on fire. And unfortunately, because he was a cop, the people didn't want to fucking help him out of his car. And he died. Now, I don't have to tell you this. I have not had a lot of good experiences with police officers. That's just what it is. That's a fact. I didn't choose that. I don't get to decide how my run-ins with these people are going to go. But this dude made a difference, a major difference in life. He didn't have to. He could have sat idly by and watched that whole thing happen, but he didn't. And I don't think stories like that are told enough. The only time you hear about police officers is when something bad happens. We don't ever hear a story about fucking cops helping people. Or the guys that are really deep in their fucking city and they know the people in their neighborhood by their fucking name. Even some of the cops in the ghettos, dude. Like you see it in movies as like a cliche, but that is true for some places. I think some of these cops, they're not all bad people. A lot of them are cunts, but they're not all bad people. And the other thing that this makes me think about is this blue line everybody keeps talking about. When I mentioned it earlier about this guy taking But did I even say what fucking time it was? I think I did. It doesn't matter. When this dude was taking my fingerprints, he was basically saying he didn't want to look bad in front of his fellow officer. Right? That's what I think that's what a big part of this whole thing with this dude getting killed by the cops was all about. Because there were 3 other cops there that didn't do shit. Because they don't want to undermine a cop in front of other cops, especially not with the whole entire nation watching them. I've gotten pills stolen from me from cops before. You know, there's thousands of stories I could tell you that are bad. Thousands of stories. Getting my head bashed into a cop car. You know, just a regular fucking Saturday afternoon for me. You know? But I bring up, out of all the ones that I could bring up, I bring that one up because I think it's important to also remember that the actions of a couple of fucking people should not necessarily reflect every person. Which brings me back around to the fucking protest, dude. I understand that every person that is involved in the protest is going to destroy shit just to destroy it. I also understand that there are some people that are attending this protest because they actually give a shit. But let's face the reality. Most people don't. This is about them. It has nothing to do with the guy that died. They don't give a fuck about that man. I mean, for fuck's sake, the dude's brother is on the fucking news talking about the protests are overshadowing the guy's memory. That tells you all you need to know. That tells you all that you need to know. The only good thing that has come out of this is that I've seen some cops kneeling with other protesters, which has never been seen before. Never. I had never seen it. Never in my fucking life. Now I know for a fact that there are still cops active today in places where I used to live that would not be caught dead. That wouldn't be caught dead if you cut the fucking back of their legs out. They wouldn't hit their knees with a protester for no money. They wouldn't do it. They are too heavy into whatever their narrative is. A cop can never do any wrong. There are those guys, but they're not everybody. Those guys are not everybody. And that's the important thing here. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. The point is I was supposed to go fucking food shopping today. We went a little bit yesterday. We're supposed to go today, but now we can't because these fucking people want to protest. And I saw a short Facebook video. It seems like it's majority all white women anyway. I don't understand what that is about. You know, I would really like to know for sure how much of this shit is genuine and how much of it is actually just for attention. Like now, shit has gone too far. Shit needs to change. We know that it's needed to change for years. And I don't know why it took 3 months of people being inside the fucking house and another person getting killed in the fucking street for everybody to finally go, all right, maybe we need to, be a little bit better to each other. Why does it have to take something terrible? I don't understand. Look, dude, the reality of it is this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that when the cops roll through my neighborhood, that I look at them like they're my best friend, because I don't. When I see a cop car, I get anxious, dude. I've had very bad experiences with police. So automatically, I'm already thinking this dude is here to give me a fucking problem. I don't think about anybody else around me. Not for a second. Like, it doesn't even occur to me that they could be here for something completely unrelated. You know, who knows? But unfortunately, that's how I've been bred to think. I didn't always think like that. When I used to see cops around, I didn't think much of it. You know, they go their way, I go my way, and that's it. Years of harassment and fucking trying to catch me and shit and going to jail and being arrested. And I'm not even a hardened criminal. Maybe that's the problem. But, you know, now when I see these people, I'm like, oh, this is a problem. I mean, honestly, tensions have been high for a very long time. And I can think of at least 3 situations off the top of my head that I'm 100% sure if I was black, I would have been killed. And that's not even a fucking joke. I'm dead serious. I can think of at least 3 different traffic stop situations where I honestly believe if I would have been black, the cop would have fucking shot me. Just because. Just because of the fucking power trip, dude. How many times in your life has a cop pulled a gun out and put one in your face? I'll wait. It's happened to me at least twice. At least. Most people don't have that experience. When I tell this story to people, a kid that I've known for 20 fucking years, 20 years since the fucking 6th grade, I tell this kid this story and he goes, I mean, it's not that I don't believe you. I know you don't have any reason to lie, but I mean, it's just so unbelievable. I don't believe it. I'm like, okay, believe what you want. I was there. I know what happened. I don't care who believes me. It is what it is. But that's because this dude doesn't have the same experience with police that I have. He doesn't associate. For a lot of people, the word police and the word danger don't go together. For me, they do. Like, the one is an extension of the other, unfortunately. But I mean, this is gonna take years, dude. I mean, there's racism isn't going anywhere. Unfortunately, it isn't. You can wait however, if it hasn't gone away by now, it's not going anywhere. It never is, ever. If it's not about the color of your skin, it'll be the size of your nose or what clothes you fucking wear or whatever. People will always find a reason to hate each other. If it's not skin color, it'll be classism, dude. It's, oh, those people are lower class. They're not the same as us. They don't deserve to breathe our air. I see it all the time. The way that the people behind where I live act because they live in $250,000 condos and I live in a low income apartment complex, the difference in attitude is fucking staggering, man. It really is. And I think a part of that attitude is brought in through the police force. Not to mention that most people that want to be cops were dicks in school anyway. You know, quoting Shiggy Luch of DMX's Blackout, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood album, where he said, and I hate cops because most of y'all were dicks in school. Or no, I'm sorry, that was Hard White, not Blackout, I think. I fucked up. I had the wrong song. But it's true. I know a bunch of dudes that were fucking cocksuckers in high school that they enjoy the control and the power of popularity. So they've gone on and they've become cops where they have that popularity and that power. Now, they're not going to be the most welcomed people in every neighborhood that they go in, but you should honestly, and I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me on this, but You should have to have some kind of mental evaluation before you're allowed to even take the fucking exam to be a police officer. Make sure you're getting into it for the right reasons. It's like that guy that signs up to try to go overseas because he just wants to shoot Arab people. It's the same thing with the cop that wants to just choke out fucking black people and or poor people. Yeah, they want a power trip, which is fucked up. And that's not all of them. That's not all of them, but it's a good amount of them. And we have to stop ignoring it like it doesn't exist. Supreme Court currently has a major vote that can make it almost impossible for a police to get into trouble unless there is a local or higher court ruling of the same situation. That I don't like that at all. They need to be able to be held accountable. Now, what is this? Does this have anything to do with what's currently going on? Because, I mean, again, this seems like a prime opportunity for people that are on that logic of thinking that cops can never do anything wrong. Like, this would be the perfect time to pass some shit to give them immunity. That's the last thing that they need. They need to be held accountable. Enough with this blue line bullshit. Look, how are you going to get mad at me? How are you going to get mad at me for arresting me and I'm not rolling over on my friends because you want names and I won't give them to you? But we're supposed to be okay with you. At the same time, we're supposed to be okay with you ignoring a coworker of yours choking somebody to death in the middle of the street because you don't want to undermine them in front of people. We're supposed to be okay with that. There's supposed to be a difference between a cop and a criminal. God damn it. You know what I mean? And I'm not a hard the worst crime I ever committed in my life was sold marijuana. That's the worst thing I've ever done. Well, I mean, probably not the worst thing. The worst thing I probably ever done was I don't even know if I could say that. What's the statute of limitation on drugs? I've asked that before. I don't know because I got stories and I would love to tell them, but I don't know if it would come back and bite me in the ass. Jesus. I mean, it's not crazy, but even then, like I didn't have nothing to do with it. Like I would not. I don't know, dude. It doesn't matter. That's like the second biggest thing. Somebody was mentioning that cops should have some sort of liability insurance that cop would have to pay out of pocket, similar to a doctor or malpractice. I mean, that's not a bad idea. That actually might. I only think it has been on a conservative agenda for a long time, but I'm not very familiar with this law. Well, I mean, the conservatives are a little bit. I don't like anybody on the extreme of any side. I don't like conservatives that are only pro-life all the time, pro-cop, whatever. Varies by state. Here, the state legalized it, so it's like weed in a state-to-state thing. Fuck. Well, I mean, here's the question: how much would liability insurance cost? Because I think liability insurance for a car is like the cheapest insurance that you can get. So, like, we pay, just as an example, let's try to break down the system. We pay $19 a month for our house insurance. In exchange, we get $30,000 in coverage for damages. Say if a pipe, for example, if a pipe breaks that's connected to our apartment, right? And it floods out our neighbor underneath us. It floods her apartment out. The apartment complex is not responsible for that. For some reason, we are. So we get the insurance. 30,000 is covered, so she can claim up to that. Insurance will cover it. With a similar system like that work. So say a comp like how they have union dues, like a cop will have to pay, I don't know, say $50 a week, right? Let's just throw a random number out there. $50 a week you pay into your insurance and you get, I don't know, $1 million in coverage. Is $50 a week a lot? It seems like a lot. Unfortunately, that is most of our political leaders in this country, basically on either extreme. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I feel like I feel like the average American person is level-headed in most cases, right? Unless you're talking about extremes, be it guns, abortions, drug laws, things of that nature. I think most people would be, level headed. They're willing to compromise, is what I'm getting at, right? Whereas these politicians, they only see one side, their side. That's it. We can't have that logic of thinking. I hate extremism. It's annoying. Like, dude, I'm pro marijuana. We are very poorly represented in general, in my opinion. I believe that to be true. By their logic, every time something is trending on Twitter, that's how the general public feels. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever seen a trending topic on Twitter and went, oh, you know what? That definitely represents how I feel. Not once. Never. That has not happened. I don't see it. But I'm pro marijuana all day, obviously. I mean, I've been arrested for it. I would like to use it medically and all that shit. It wasn't so expensive. But the point is, even though I'm pro weed, I don't think maybe an extremist of pro weed should be like, well, you should be able to smoke it while you're driving and have a water bong connected to the fucking windshield wiper button in your car. Like, well, slow down, dude. Slow down, dude. Let's legalize it, sure. Tax it, okay. Let's exempt tax from all medical products, obviously. And cut that tax in half for low income people. Everybody else can pay the full amount, whatever. You can smoke it on your property in designated smoking areas that are ventilated well. You can't sit outside of a restaurant and smoke a joint. I'm sorry, it would be a great thing to do, but you can't do it. You have to be respectful of other people. There's got to be, maybe you have a smoking weed section and a non-smoking weed section. It's completely apart from each other. I don't know. I love how these crazy rich people pretend to understand what us average people have to deal with. I mean, honestly, dude, I think this may be a little bit of extremism myself. I'm not sure, but I mean, you can tell me what you think. I would think it would be only fair if you want to be a politician in this country, you should have to have been poor at one point in your life. Like if you were born into a rich family and you've had money forever and you don't know what a 1-bedroom apartment looks like, if you don't know what Kraft mac and cheese out of a box tastes like, you shouldn't be allowed to be a politician. Okay? I want to know that you've been where I am. I mean, these fucking cunts don't even have the decency to come to our neighborhoods, but you want us to go out and vote for you. I'm a big believer in voting in local elections. I mean, I think the presidential election is a fucking lost cause for all of us. But that's because we don't have as much control over a big election like that as we do when we elect our governors and stuff like that. Even though once they're in, they do whatever they want anyway. But I think that it's important for these people to understand what it's like to be on the ground level. Maybe maybe all these rich politicians should have to live the way that we live for a few months. What do you say? Why don't we give them all a $1,200 stimulus check and tell them to make it last for 3 fucking months? Oh, and by the way, you can't go out and make a living. And I'm not saying I don't want people to get the COVID, dude. Do not forget instant noodles. Oh my god, bro. Dude, I went back recently and we bought some ramen noodles and we tried to eat that shit. Bro, I don't know. I don't know if maybe it's because we haven't like we moved up in the world, right? We've gone from living off of ramen noodles to not having to eat them anymore because we can kind of afford let them just try to make it on SNAP benefits. For real though. Dude, $150. That's it. That's what you get. You get $150 in food stamps, which you cannot buy hot food with. Okay? And for the sake of argument, why don't we do one better? We'll give you an average social security income for 1 month, which will be $800. Now you have your big $800 and you have $150 in food money, and that's all you get. Make it through a month with that. Oh, and by the way, your rent is going to cost $600. Just a heads up. So I'll leave you $200 to pay your electric, your gas, your water, your cell phone, and then you can take your food stamps and go to ShopRite and get price gouged to shit. Get price gouged to shit. So where all you can afford to eat is Kraft macaroni and cheese and ramen noodles. Maybe if you're lucky, they'll run a sale on Ilios. Here it is $1.94, but at least the milk is pretty cheap here. See, out here, I don't even know. Average, I think a gallon of milk. Matter of fact, let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right, it's saying in Trenton, yeah, that was in fucking 2018. Here, look, I'll share this with you. And I don't live in Trenton. Fuck that place. That place will kill you. See that? Right here. State capital or other large city. New Jersey. Trenton is our state capital. Average cost of a gallon of milk in 2018 was $2.83. Whereas the gallon of milk average price now is $3.52. You know what? I don't trust that. I'm going on. Let's go into a circular. Now we get to see really what is it going to cost. That peanut butter is gross. So here we go. 88 cents noodles. That's how you do it. Butter noodles is a big one too, though.
Butter noodles are the shit.
I'm looking. So far, I don't see milk. Probably not on sale. Well, almond milk is $4. This is wild because they don't even have flyers this big in the stores. Literally one sheet of paper, front and back, and that's it. But dude, I mean, they should have to live off of what we live off of, and then let's see how well that you do. Like, we pay our bills, we got our shit covered, but we're going to use. I mean, let's be honest here. Part of the stimulus is going to get used so Jen can go get a weed license. Do a search for it. Okay, now we got to do price. Okay, I'm putting in. We'll do the old zip code. Find stores. That would be the one. Okay, now how do I find the item? Man, shit sucks, dude. Whatever. Either way, we usually pay about $1.69 a gallon lately, but I haven't seen as low as 99 cents for a gallon here. But that's interesting. That it is that cheap. And I have to look the next time I go in the store, and I'll make a note of it to try to figure out how much is it actually. But they should have to live off of what we live off of. Jesus, dude, Facebook is fucking tired. Enough already. Dude, I gotta get out of this. I can't take it anymore. It's the same shit. Everybody shares the same thing over and over and over. You're not original, dude. White people ain't gonna learn till we fuck up Starbucks. Oh, did you hurt your brain coming up with that? Fucking dickhead. We have dairy farms on the western part of the state. Well, see, that might explain why it's so cheap for you, because the source of it is right there. I was just talking about this the other day. Why is the new comments not coming up on the screen? I was just talking about this the other day. You would think people in Florida would have the freshest oranges, but in reality, we actually do, because they're sending all their freshest shit out of state. So people that live closest to these things probably get the least fresh shit. But still, I mean, it's probably different for something like milk, though. Like, I don't even know. I guess vegetables, but do we even fucking grow anything in New Jersey anymore? I don't think so. The garden fucking state, and you couldn't plant a garden anywhere around here. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Stupid. It's what you call the condo state. It's That's what it should be called because they're fucking everywhere. They're everywhere. And they want you to know that they do not appreciate your ass existing. If you're not rich enough to be around their neighborhood. So that's what it is, man. It's fucked up. It's fucked up that this dude died. It's fucked up that the politicians are so out of touch with reality that they wouldn't know how to change the laws for the better. Even if you told them, they wouldn't get it. So where are you at? I'm going to guess. I'm going to try to guess where you're from. Agriculture is the fourth largest industry here. You have a lot of dairy farms. I'm going to assume it's got to be like Wisconsin or something like that. I only say that because I think they make cheese there. And I think to make cheese, you need milk. I don't know. They have no appetite for social justice. Well, no, because social justice doesn't line their pockets. Nobody makes money when things are going well. At least is that true? I don't know. Seems like it. Is that why we're always trying to destroy other places in the world so we can rebuild them so that Halliburton can take a fucking giant percentage of whatever it costs to fix that place up? Michigan. Not terribly far off. Dude, that water situation out there is fucked. And not to mention, I was going to say, you guys were building cars there for the longest time. Well, see, that's the other problem too, because I associate it with bad things as well. When you say social justice now, I think of extremists. Let's be honest. I think of extremists. I think of, quote, feminist white women, unquote, in pink hats marching down the street demanding equality. But how dare you treat me like a fucking equal? I don't want to be treated like an equal. I want you to treat me. Treat me the same way that you treat the boys without all the insults and everything else. That's part of what equality is, though, dude. You're overworked and you're underpaid. Welcome to equality. That's what it is. You know, it's social justice is getting fucking bad exposure. I mean, the ACLU just sent me a fucking email talking about we made t-shirts for marijuana. You know, legalize it now. And where's that fucking money going, dickhead? I can't even get one of you cunts to come on my fucking podcast. And I am as pro what your cause is as anybody is gonna get. I've been to fucking jail for it, self-medicating, the whole deal, dude. And I can't even get one of you fucks to talk to me. That's probably because I'm white, though. Probably. Let's be honest. That's really what it is. Guaranteed. Like, sometimes it is all about skin color, dude. Because they're all worried about making such an impact that they allow even that. Like, now you gotta even look at it's like the reverse of Hollywood. Well, like now Netflix is making it so you have to have one black, one white, one Asian, one whatever. And because of that, shit is going to suffer. Everybody should be included, but when it calls for them to be included, right? You don't want to force somebody into a situation that they're not going to benefit. You're not crippled enough. It's still a huge auto industry as well, but nowhere near the level that it used to be. We are royally screwed in that tourism and beer are a growing income source here. Well, you guys did legalize marijuana, right? Because if you did, you could do the tours like they do in Colorado, where you have people coming on buses and they're smoking weed on the bus and they go through the whole city and all that shit. But again, you need dispensaries, you need local mom and pop shops, dude, to really boost an economy. That's what you need. We don't need more fucking Walmarts, dude. We need local people owning local shops. You know how great it would feel to walk in a fucking dispensary and see like a good person that I know, which I off the top of my head, I mean,
Really great.
and they're running it. Yeah, the tax aspect, but our government is too stupid to do that. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, dude, they're worried about weed, but there's a fucking beer commercial every 5 seconds while the Super Bowl is on, and more people will land in rehab for alcohol when this pandemic is over than anything else. I mean, alcohol sales have skyrocketed, I think like 130% since the pandemic started. I can't think of, and me and Joe were just talking about this the other day. I can't think of anything I want to do less. I mean, I don't drink anymore because of the thyroid. And, besides, my stunning personality really shines through when I've had a couple too many. But I can't think of anything I want to do less than drink. This would be the worst time to drink. Get wasted and sit in the house? Who the fuck wants to do that? That's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do when you're drinking. The religious group continues to fight weed, which makes no sense to me. It's because it's the devil's lettuce, man. That's why. That is pretty fucking dumb. I mean, dude, that is the most natural thing on the fucking planet. Beer, you have to do shit to it. Weed just grows like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've enhanced it over the years by bringing it inside, right? And now we've upped the amount of THC. I mean, I'll tell you a secret. Do you want to know a secret for real? If anybody asks you, just deny this because I'm not going to admit to it. But, fuck. During the quarantine, I may or may not have dabbled a little bit. Hasn't been for a while. I gotta watch how I say this because I don't know who is listening, but is a sacred plant in China and India. Let that sink in. Well, that's probably because they know, and I know that those places are very big into herbal medicines. No pun intended, but they must know. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that there's 100%. There's pros to using this shit. But look, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I dabbled a little bit, right? I'm whispering to you because we gotta keep this on the down low here. And I gotta tell you, man. Wow, the world has changed. Jesus Christ. I don't know what to think. I honestly I wish I could have shared it. I mean, we'll see in the upcoming episodes. If you pay close attention, you might be able to figure out when it was. But it's all completely different now. It don't make you tired anymore. Like, I had energy, dude. For the first time. Dude, have you ever seen the documentary Culture High? I don't know if you've ever seen that. In the documentary Culture High, there is actually a doctor in Israel who has been working for years on strains, creating new strains and medical strains and doing scientific research, even back when it was not even accepted, when it was not socially acceptable. He went to the government on like a down low kind of a deal and was like, look, man, I want to I want to get some research money so I can fucking look into this weed thing. And they were like, all right, but if anybody asks us about it, we're going to deny it. Nobody can know what you're doing here. And now, yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. So now that dude, all those years of research. Yeah, but America still wants more research. Bro, no, they don't. They want more arrests. They want more money. That's what they want. Dude, I'm telling you, personal experience. I swear to God, dude, I slept better. I ate. I was hungry. You know, like I had a regular appetite, not like, oh, I'm starving, I'm gonna eat everything. Different, completely different. I didn't have to take a pill. I didn't have to take a fucking pill for hours. I can't even tell you how crazy that is. I can't tell you how crazy that is, dude. The shit works. Now I don't know, bro. Like it was to the point where I mean I'm on 4 pills a day, right? That's what I get prescribed. Here's a fun fact: look up the Compassion Act passed in the '60s. I think I've heard of this. Okay, Compassionate Care Act is the weed act. That's the medical marijuana weed act in Jersey here. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Let's see what this is. Congress.gov. Senator Richard Blumenthal. Committees Senate, Health, Education, Labor, Pensions. Read twice, reference article. Okay, so what does it say? This bill requires Center for Disease Control and Prevention to develop and implement a national campaign that informs the public of the importance of end-of-life or advanced care planning for an individual's right to direct and participate in healthcare decisions. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, an agency for healthcare research and quality, AHRQ, must establish a website for qualified healthcare providers about those rights and advanced care planning. Department of Human Health and Resources must establish a pilot grant program for end-of-life training in certain medical and health education schools. So, wait a minute. The AHRQ must develop quality measures for end-of-life care, relevant qualities, healthcare provider settings, must begin reporting on their performance relating to such measures. So, I don't understand. So, wait a minute. Hold on. Last I knew, there were still older people in Florida getting their monthly weed cigarettes each month from our government. There's also a huge government-ran weed farm in Hawaii. Oh, of course there is. Well, dude, so wait, what is this? What does this mean? So, hold on. Let me break this down here. I'm going to give this to you as I think I understand it. So, this bill requires Center for Disease Control and Prevention to implement a nationwide campaign of the importance of end of life or advanced care planning. In other words, that sounds to me like the importance of a living will and testament, and also how do you want to go about treatment when it becomes time for you to face that part of your life, right? That Medicare and Medicaid have to make it so that there's websites for people to go to so they can get more information on this stuff. And then from there, hold on. So I don't, what? Health Resources and Service Administration must approve existing and developing new curricula on advanced care planning and end of life care for continuing education that states may adopt for qualified healthcare providers. So this is optional for a state to decide to use it or not. But this guy is saying that everybody needs to have this. But how come I've never heard of this before? Is this the euthanasia thing? For a short period of time, some people were able to qualify for a monthly supply of 60 weed cigarettes each month. Holy shit. That would be crazy. Very convenient. I mean, 60 joints in a month. It's not not a bad deal. You know, I mean, I think probably 2 joints a day I could probably do. Half in the morning, right? Get rid of all the pain. A little bit in the afternoon. And then definitely the second half of the afternoon. And then before bed. But we need to change out strains. Since we're talking about weed, I might as well. But speaking of medication, I actually had to go grab mine. Florida makes life interesting for sure. They sure fucking do. They sure do. Bro, Florida looks at the rest of the world like, you guys do whatever you want. We're a fucking mess down here. We're a mess down here. Which Florida is a scary place to get caught with pot, dude. You do not want to get caught in a place like that. I mean, get a medical license. Do what you have to do. Don't fuck around. Florida will end you. They love nothing more than throwing people into the system out there. I'll be right back. I have to go grab a pill. Yeah, it's a CBD shit.
Penises! What, you say you want to suck my penises. Hey, you're not the only one that kicks out my feet out of the bed. Ellie covers.
Ugh. I'll bring it up again because I brought it up in the past. But if you have not, you should try this shit. It helps. It does. I wouldn't sell you a line of bullshit, dude. If it didn't work even a little bit, I wouldn't waste my time taking it. People under that law have protection under that law. Wait, what law are we talking about? I'm kind of lost here. It seems like I'm about to drop some of this shit. This is what it looks like on the inside, so you can see it. Yeah, it's all brown and gross looking. It tastes even worse than it is. It's pretty bad. But it definitely helps though, dude. Gross. And by the way, Snapple fact of the day, one of many. Philadelphia zookeeper Jim Murray sent basketball scores to telegraph offices by carrier pigeon every half inning in 1883. Well, hold on. Basketball doesn't have innings. That's baseball has innings. Compassion Act passed back in the 60s, probably some study. Basketball has quarters. Maybe they used to call it innings and they changed it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I forgot to fucking... God damn it. I need to grab another drink. Sucks. The dude...
I got mustard.
Alright, I'm coming in there. Doggy style is not getting it in your ass, dummy.
She thinks so.
It's two different things.
I asked her if she told him what I told her to tell him to do.
Oh my god.
You know, or the person that she was going to have sex with. You know, because I told her that she needed to try to get her butt cheeks lifted spread. You know, while it's getting hit from the back. Because she said that she never done it that way. She has to be, like, if she's on top of a guy, she can't do the knees like me. We gotta both be Frogger style. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, that was the only other position besides missionary. And she's like, and my leg, you know, on his side. I was like, those are the only three styles? It's like, yeah. I was like, well, try these ones out. You know, and I fucking told her, you know, a couple of ones. But she tried the doggy one. And I was like, dude, but it's not getting it in your dumper.
What the fuck, dude?
I'm like, when I told you to tell the person, you know, that you're going to be doing it with, you know, to lift and spread out your butt cheeks, not to stick it in your dumper.
Yeah.
You know, it's just to, you know, be a hooch.
Fucked up. Jesus.
I got this cold. I see the fucking wind blowing.
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't even know.
I don't.
don't- Yeah, I told you that earlier.
Well,
Fucking dementia.
shut up. You know, dealing with my sister and my mom and then Erica.
The other issue for weed is tobacco lobby, alcohol lobby, and big pharma. Dude, it's not even a conspiracy. It's not even a fucking conspiracy. I went into my pain management doctor's office and I was like, bro, they have medical weed. I tell every doctor that I go to, I was self-medicating with marijuana. Right? That's a fact. I went to jail for it because I was selling it to be able to afford it to smoke it.
Not really selling it. You know, selling it. Not enough to be on the cops' radar.
But it is
You
when
know, but because you had turf beef with my sister's ex-boyfriend.
turf beef. Fucking.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but he's a
I
fucking
know.
derelict. Bro, it'll be selling on my block. Bro, first of all, it's not your block, dickhead. Second of all,
You don't even live on your block.
we all need to make money, dude. Yeah. Third of all, you don't even live on this block, motherfucker. You live all the way over there. So fuck you. That's what got the cops called on me. Because I wouldn't, not gonna let some fuck ass try to tell me where I can and can't post up shop. Well, yeah,
It was him and her.
I know. That's a whole thing in and of its fucking self. But
Oh, that's a lot of pollen on that ball.
yeah, that's from the windows being open. But dude, look, I went into my pain manager doctor and I was like, bro, they tell me how bad the pills are all the time. All the time. That's what they mention. Pills are bad for you. They're gonna kill you. They're bad for you. They're gonna kill you. All right, so I got an idea. Like I read an article of a doctor in Maine that was splitting treatment using half of opioid prescription and the other half marijuana. And he said through the study that you found that majority of his patients have actually cut their medication doses, in some cases more than half, using the medical weed in conjunction with the pills. And they were like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. You have to choose one or the other. You don't get to have both.
And it helps with anxiety too, for real. And people with racing bipolar, racing thoughts or just racing brain in general. It's like ADHD, but in your brain and internal. Like you got this pent up energy, but you can't do anything about it except, whack out.
Yeah. It's fucked up. But I mean, dude, this is well known that they don't want a solution.
Nope.
And when I brought this up to doctors, ugh.
I went past her, so like ass.
Ugh. When I brought this up to the doctor, I was like, what about all these politicians that are saying that the fucking pills are an epidemic? And the doctor said, politicians just like to use words. They don't know what they're talking about. That's what she said. They don't want a solution. They want junkies. I hate to break it to everybody. They want junkies. Let me explain to you how the system works. Okay, most people will have some sort of an injury at one point in their life, right? Everyone knows that drugs are bad. Have you ever heard of the Latin word for drug actually means devil or demon? No joke. I can believe that. I can definitely believe that. But, the objective is, because if I was a fucking pill company, we'll make a pill that will help with the pain, get them strung out on it, and then we'll give them something else that will also get them addicted, give them close to the same high, and every step of the way we have them addicted, be it Percocet, Oxycontin, fucking Suboxone, Subutex, methadone, whatever. They got you the entire way. It's a shame, dude. It really is. And what's fucked up is, I think, honestly, we could help a lot of people. But they also don't want to make it affordable. But I mean, this all could circle back to a lot of different things. But I mean, in all honesty, if they don't want an answer, I mean, this goes for the weed thing, this goes for the protests, all that shit. If these people don't want an answer, then why are we putting up this charade? Problem with pain management is your body will over time develop resistance. I know, bro. I started out on Oxycontin 80s. I asked to be lowered down, and I went from Oxycontin 80s to Percocet 5 milligrams. And over the course of 8 years, I have gone from 2 5 milligram Percocets a day to now having to take 4 10 milligram Percocets a day.
But that's also because of your MS too.
Okay, so I know that is a problem with taking it over time, is that it does, your tolerance does go up. However, I've already made the.
I'm
Oh,
going to interrupt you because that makes it seem like it's bad. That you went from 2 to 4 in a short period of time, because that is a short period of time. But you don't let people know you got boosted from 2 to 3 when you got diagnosed with the MS to help with your other types of pains that you were getting.
yeah. Well,
because you were getting in, as you got older, you got more.
it's
in
getting
pain.
worse.
So you need a stronger prescription, once in a while.
Yeah.
That's why you're on 4 10s a day.
But then this is high as I'm willing to go.
And they and they don't even give you a full 4 times a day. You gotta pick and choose. When your pain is bad enough to take the fourth one, because you only get a couple, like a week and a half worth of taking 4 pills
Yeah.
if you need.
Yeah.
So don't sell yourself short. You know it's not that bad, because you got in more pain and you got diagnosed with, another fucking painful disease.
So what is that? What is AS? I'm sure I know what it is, but sometimes the abbreviations, I don't want to call it the wrong thing. But that's interesting. Only 30% of your actual pain you feel. I mean, dude, my shit, even with the pills, it doesn't go away. It's the shittiest part.
It just numbs it a little.
I mean, the pills and the weed together were as close to pain free as I've ever gotten. Like 100% no pain. But that's taking a pill, smoking, 3, 4 pulls off a fucking joint, and then waiting a couple hours, and just going from weed from there.
Just wait, babe. You'll probably, be pain free when you can actually do the weed and edibles.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Or
exciting.
weed and CBD, because you can do CBD stuff right now.
Well, we're gonna find out, because by the 8th, I have to have a new appointment with my doctor, and there's a good chance that this shit could
really
make me
don't
piss
mind.
dirty in a drug test. So we'll see. Ah, Asperger's. Okay. Yeah. See, I wouldn't have guessed.
Oh, when I thought you said ALS.
No,
I
he said
thought that was that.
AS. ALS is the thing that Stephen Hawking had.
Oh, I thought it was that thing that people like, that whisper, and
No, that's ASMR. That's
Yeah,
different.
that, I guess.
This is here's a fun fact: 100,000 people each year die in this country simply by following the prescriptions they are prescribed. That's completely fucked.
Yeah, that is true, Kevin.
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying that's fucked up. Like, here you go, take this fucking.
Like that coming out your mouth to your MS doctor.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it. I could totally see that. Which, I mean, these people you're supposed to trust. Here you go, take this prescription, take it 3 times a day. I mean, really, you're only supposed to take it 2 times a day, but I mean, whatever. You'll figure it out. And then you find out you're dead. Then what do? Nothing, because you're fucking dead. You can't yell at the doctor. It's too late. They bury it so nobody knows about it, and then that's it. Asperger's. Actually going to because her nephew is autistic, but I don't think that's the same thing. I think it might be different. Or I think he does have Asperger's. I don't know. Developmental disorder characterized by significant difficulties in social interactions, nonverbal communication, along with restrictive repetitiveness of patterns of behavior and interests. Well, then by that logic, I think I might have a touch of that myself, but I think I'm a little OCD. That's all, probably. On the bright side, pollution by itself does that as well. True. I mean, dude, this is rough. This is real rough. But that's alright. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out. I don't know what we're going to do. It's going to be interesting to see where does this go on the 8th, because I'm either going to get completely fucked for my medicine, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm hoping that I don't go through like really bad withdrawals or anything, because I'm not abusing it, but I've been dependent on it for a long time, so I don't know. But it might not. It might not. Maybe it won't come up in a drug test. I have no idea. So I have to wait and see. Which reminds me, I should fucking call them, really, to figure out, like, do I really have to come in, or can we just do this over the phone? Personally, I'd rather do it over the phone, but I should pee clean by now. I mean, it's been, I think, a month and a half, whatever, so I should be fine. Still, I mean, the CBD, though, does say you could pop on a drug test, so I don't know. We'll find out. But I mean, dude, this whole thing is a fucking wreck. It really is. We'll definitely have to get into, in the future, I would like to get into, well, I mean, I don't know. I was going to say the difference in Asperger's, autism, shit like that. Because we know people that are affected by these things, but I don't want to necessarily go down that rabbit hole and have people yell at me. Pandemic did that in 3 months. Hopefully things get better, but I personally trust science. Yeah, I kind of do too. You mentioned that you were going to go a whole day with just CBD. Did you do that yet? No, not yet. It's been difficult. Here's the problem. Like when I wake up in the morning, depending on how I feel, I could tell what kind of day it's going to be. But while I haven't gone a whole day with just CBD, there has been times where I've been able to skip like a day here, but then I wind up taking it on a different day because I'm in worse shape. And the problem is I have to walk a very delicate line with this CBD stuff, because if I take too much of it, it's going to make me tired and I'll be falling asleep. I don't want that. At the same time, it helps. So there's a really, and there's no in between. If you take too much, you're going to get tired. If you take too little, it might not work. Maybe it will. I have discovered that moving around more with it has been helpful. Get it to kick in and shit like that. But I don't know. Just the CBD by itself, I don't think I'll be able to go just a full day with just CBD. I mean, I'll try. I know it's going to rain for the next couple of days, so now won't be the time for me to do it. But it definitely has it's weird. I'm asleep sometimes by midnight now, maybe a little bit later, and every day without fail, taking this CBD shit, I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning every day. I get up, I take the longest pee I think I've ever taken in my fucking life. I'll fall back to sleep for maybe an hour and a half, if that, and then I'm up for the rest of the day. By 8 a.m., I'm already up and lurking around, trying to figure out what movements I can throw on the fucking world. I personally look at it as more of a neurological problem, although they have documented evidence that people like me have a completely different brain anatomy. But see, that's interesting too, though, because then that means your brain development, everything, the way that you take in information is all different. That's interesting. I mean, I'm sure mine is too, because I have multiple sclerosis and cerebral palsy. So my brain is all fucked up. I got patches in my head. It don't even make sense how I'm connecting sentences together. At least that's what they tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, right? I don't know how it does it happen. I don't know how I'm walking around. I know this. I'm not okay. I am not okay. I have serious issues. A lot of fucking problems. But I mean, look, dude, for some reason, I'm gonna be really honest with you right now. I don't know why. The pressure in my legs just started to get worse, and I'm feeling in between my shoulder blades, the cervical spine, I think it's called, is fucking, it don't really feel good right now, which is kind of worrying me, because the last time that this happened, I fucking couldn't breathe right. But I was also lifting heavy shit. I don't know if I've lifted anything in the last couple of days I would consider heavy. No, I mean, we did get a couple of things from the store, but nothing that should have made it that bad. I don't know, but honestly, I think I'm gonna get up out of this chair, and I'm gonna try to walk around a little bit, just because I don't like the way that this feeling is getting, and if I can, maybe I can stop it by moving around a little bit. So I'm gonna just end this so I can move around and see if I can get this to go away, because I don't want it to get worse. I mean, if it's going to, it's going to, but there's nothing I could do. We're definitely we'll bring this back up again next time. I know I'm supposed to have a guest on the 11th. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, so let's not get excited. Tomorrow I'm supposed to go food shopping, so I don't know if that's going to work or not. And then I also had to get into my doctor's at some point this month, and still hit the LabCorp to do my fucking thyroid shit, to figure out what they're gonna do with those medicines, if they're gonna up them, which I'm sure they are. So I got a lot of shit that I gotta do this month. But just so you can see, I don't know if I'm gonna do this yet or not, so don't get excited. Don't get excited. But I want to show you something before I get out of this chair. Okay? Okay. I know I'm all over the place, people. I apologize. This is how I do it. I did not plug the podcast the entire time this thing has been on. So, quickly, 11 and Birds every Saturday, right? 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adjust your time zones and all that. Good luck. All that thyroid could be a real bitch. It is so far been upped on my thyroid dose 4 times already, and it's not leveled out yet. So I don't know what the deal is. But look, so you can see June 6th all the way through August 8th is taken care of. Those are all scheduled episodes. This is what I was talking about. I started to watch this Wilford show, right? And then yesterday, I was fucking kind of like, I don't know what to do. I'm looking to pass some time. So I wound up watching Child's Play. And I mean, I think that whole thing is trash. But we'll see. I'm not touching it yet. When I hang this up, I'm not doing shit for at least a week. Unless something happens that lands me in here to record something, I'm not editing, I'm not doing anything. I put in like 11 weeks of fucking work over the last week or so. So, I think I've earned myself a slight bit of a break here. Because I feel if I don't relax, I can tell I'm starting to get to the point where, I'm just going to be aggravated the entire time that I'm doing it. And it's going to take away from the overall objective of what I'm trying to do. So, there's that. But I appreciate, I got to get some sleep. Take care. Well, thanks for stopping by, dude. I appreciate it. Hopefully you'll come by again at some point. I appreciate everybody who has stopped by, everybody that tunes in whenever I do this, the people who listen to the podcast. I did just post videos from the 40s episode on the YouTube channel, so that is out there. Everything else. I mean, I have last thing. I didn't put a clip out for this week's episode coming up because I'm going over albums that I have here. And throughout the podcast, I put in snippets of the songs so that if you don't know them, you can hear them for a moment, whatever, make your determination if you like them or not. And because of copyright infringement and all of that, I couldn't find a good spot in the podcast that I could give you a minute clip of it and have it make sense. So I decided to just not do that at all. But that's the upcoming episode. I'm going over the remaining CD collection that I have. So look forward to that. And I'm sure it's going to be rough to try to take a week off, but I'm going to try. In the meantime, everybody stay fucking safe. We'll keep an eye out, see how all this shit is going to end. Let's hope something good can come out of all this bullshit.